Hi, my name's Bri. I'm from the Alternative Journal, and I'm super excited today to be joined by a very special guest, Kynan from Diamond Construct. How are you?
Cool. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's good to be here. It's good to chat.
Hell yeah. Do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself and the band?
Yeah, sure. I do vocals in the band. My brother's also in the band. He plays guitar. And then we got Liam on drums as well. So, yeah, we've had Angel Killer Zero out for a while. And,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously we're chatting today because we're doing the deluxe release, which has 3 new songs.
Yeah, super exciting. Yeah, Angel Killer Zero was like a masterpiece, man. When it dropped, it was on repeat, especially Switchblade. That's such a tune. Absolutely love it. What were some of your favorite parts about putting that album together and getting these deluxe tracks ready to go?
Um, it's good that you like Switchblade, by the way. That one's a fun one.
Yeah, it's so good.
Favorite parts about putting it together, it's hard to pinpoint a few because obviously it took a long time for us to get it together. It was probably like 3 years in the making.
Yeah.
But I'd probably just have to say some of the demo stages when you hear it back for the first time and like, the structure of the song just sort of hits. I'd say that would be like the most rewarding parts of the writing
Yeah.
stage. But in terms of our favorite parts, I would say that seeing the songs played live now
Yeah.
to people that actually know the songs and know the lyrics and stuff, like it's really good to, especially me being like the singer and stuff, I can see everyone sort of vibing. So that would be like the most rewarding thing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The album's amassed like over 1 million streams now, which is so sick.
Yeah.
Pretty much a year in retrospect now, almost. What's been some key like moments since the album's blown up for you guys, including like touring and such?
It's definitely, since the release, I'd say it's definitely got us like bigger and better sort of touring opportunities, like bigger supports and stuff with
Yeah.
some internationals and things like that. So that's been huge for us. And sort of just solidifying some of like our fans that might have been like a little bit on the fence before or just sort of like half into the band or things like that. It's really like kept them on side, I think, because, people were waiting for such a long time to see what was coming next for us. So that was really good to see. But also our older fans, I think, would have been really stoked with some of the heavier tracks that we'd done on the album. So, yeah, there's a few things in there. It's all good, really, when you do
Yeah.
a release.
Absolutely. You guys just dropped the music video for Clickbait pretty recently, which was featured on Rage, which is also sick, by the way. I'd love to know some of the inspiration behind it, behind the storyline. It's like a true crime sort of thing, and you end up being the killer. Sick, by the way.
Yeah. Pretty different. Well, funny thing about that is we actually shot that music video in 2021 at the exact same time that we did Hit It
right.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we shot Hit It Back and then we shot Clickbait in the same week for another song that never got released. So we were just sitting on that footage for so long and waiting to pick like the right kind of song to go with it because obviously there's no performance in the music video, so it can kind of go with anything. And you can't really put it with like a heavy song with breakdowns and stuff. So when Clickbait sort of took off on the album and it became like a little bit of our mini fan favourite, it just sort of seemed right to put the footage to that one. But in terms of the story and stuff, I think I was just in my true crime arc. I was just watching so much stuff on that, and I was really digging like the kind of 80s feel because I was watching a lot of old school sort of serial killer stuff at the time. So it was just something different and something fun for us to put together, really. And Colin made it come to life, obviously, like he does with every one of our music videos.
For sure. It's great. Angel Killer Zero itself is such a dynamic album as well. Each track has something a bit different to offer to the listener. Like Hell Inside You has some EDM sort of dubsteppy vibes, and then Switchblade, my favorite, it seems like it's inspired a lot by nu metal. Could you talk about some of your main influences that describe yours and the band's sound?
Yeah, for sure. No, that's a good question. Obviously, we come from a nu metal background. growing up, our parents sort of always had like Slipknot or
Yeah.
Korn or Limp Bizkit on playing in the car and stuff like that. So that was like our introduction to music, and it's stuck with us the entire time, even through, you know, the metalcore days with Prom Queen and Parkway, and even through Gent and stuff with like Volumes, Architects and all that sort of thing. We've always fallen back to, that's like our core sound. So it's quite easy for us to draw inspiration for that. But we went through like a big sort of awakening with a lot of our friends that listen to a lot of the normie music, you know, like EDM and rap and trap metal and stuff like that. So I'd say like artists like Ghostmane and Scarlord would be a big influence on what we were sort of building with that sort of sound. Electronic artists like Getter as well, who is also Tara Reid. Just a bunch of guys like that. I think, you know, kind of laid a platform for us to be like, all right, let's develop this electronic sound in the back and see if it works. And I think that the blend that we sort of created on Angel Killer Zero was like a long but slow process, but it's definitely rewarding because I think it all fit together in this crazy jigsaw piece.
It stayed very cohesive with your sound sort of off your self-titled, while also, once again, just offering a completely new dynamic, which was, I think, what reeled a lot of older fans back in, personally. One thing I did notice listening to the album, there's a female voiceover sort of running through a lot of the tracks, which I thought was sick. And at the end of the album, she says that Angel Killer Zero program is complete, simulation terminated. Is there a deeper sort of narrative behind this album?
Well, it's like, so a lot of like the excerpts that you hear are from video games and stuff that I played like when I grew up. So like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
So I just thought like it was more a meaning for myself to throw in some like really nostalgic things that like from storylines that hit me hard. And I was like, you know, because some of the songs were sort of about love or loss or trying to, you know, conquer something at the time, whether that be, you know, addiction or just a phase in your life that's really tough. So I thought that these nostalgic things that like got me through those periods when I would be a kid would fit well on the album as well, maybe for some other people, even if they hadn't played the games or anything like that. So the AI voice that you hear, though, that was created from Braids. That was his idea. He just thought that it would be cool to break it up into chapters of sort of like almost like a cyberpunk narrator, like getting you across what is happening on the album. So that was like a conceptual idea that he sort of blended that with my idea, and it's not really like a deeper thought than that, other than just two ideas coming together, and we thought that the concept was really cool, and we sort of just ran with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it tied in a lot as well with the album art that you guys have too. The voice I kind of thought was her on the album cover talking, which is kind of sick. I got like sort of like this with the terminating simulation part, like this very existential narrative that reminded me a lot of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I don't know if that's definitely what I thought of once that happened at the end of the album. Like it really took me back. I was like, oh, that's really sick. I love that. Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite animes.
Yeah.
And obviously like the art style is definitely referencing to that. So I used a lot of the Evangelion frames and stuff when I sent them through to our designers, because obviously when I came up with the album art and stuff, it sort of came to me like in a dream, and then when I woke up I was like, I have to go get this designed, even though it was like 18 months before the thing came out. I was like, I just need to get this down. So
the vision,
that was definitely a big reference for that.
That's sick. You guys seem to tour a fair bit, I've noticed. The first time I saw you was in 2023 when you guys opened for In Heart's Wake. And then recently...
was that Fortitude Music Hall?
Yeah. That was
a good show.
That was a really good show, and then I recently saw you guys with Wind Waker, 1000 Below, and Head Wreck. I would love to know what that tour was like, because, man, what a lineup. It was so good.
Yeah. That was awesome. So it was great for a few different reasons. Obviously, you know, we started touring with Wind Waker when we first really started out. Like, so 2017, I think, was our first tour with those guys. So they've become pretty much just like a best friend band. You know, we're growing up sort of together and doing this thing. So it's really good to see how like massive they've blown up.
Yeah.
So it's always good to see them. Thousand Below, the first time we toured with them, but they're on the same label, Pale Chord, as us from the US. So
there you go. Yeah.
yeah, that was good to meet those guys, and hopefully it's not too long until we tour with them again. And Headwreck were incredible. Like I know it was their first sort of proper bigger like Destroy All Lines tour and things like that, but they really impressed us. You know, they were learning from the get-go. You know, second and third show, they'd already got their chops together. They were loading in the truck. They were loading out the truck. They were doing everything correct. They were willing to learn, and they put on a great show every night. So I can't recommend that band enough to people out there. Like, I know that they're just getting off the ground and stuff, but they're definitely one to look out for because they're really good. They're taking it serious.
Absolutely, I agree. They've already got such a concept behind their band as well. Like the PS2 graphics is just what caught my eye immediately. It was so sick. I know you've already sort of touched on it, but I'd love to know some of your like favorite parts of performing to an audience and live, especially with these new tracks.
Yeah, favorite parts, like we love playing Faded. I think that song it hits sort of territory that we don't usually get to because we've still got the breakdowns and we are predominantly screaming and rapping and stuff like that. But when we do like our melodic tracks, I'd say that's probably our favorite thing to experience live. Because, you know, people are singing it back, or some people who don't even know that we have songs like that and they're fans of the other bands, like they'll be like, oh, cool, I might go and buy a t-shirt now. Like, I like this. So I'd say, songs like Faded, Clickbait, playing songs like that live, it's really awesome to see, you know. It's like it creates like a mood in the room. We definitely feed off that energy. Yeah,
absolutely. You guys have been smashing it recently, being very busy. But if I may ask, what's the future looking like for Diamond Construct? Are there any projects we can look forward to?
Definitely. I always love talking about the future. It's like my favourite thing to talk about. We're trying to not let like our fans wait too long for our next stuff. So we've definitely got a lot of like songs in the bag. It's just how we sort of present them. So we're working on some singles at the moment, some shorter releases, and we're just sort of deciding which avenue to go through. But it'll probably look like we'll do some standalone singles, and the songs bang. So I can tell you that they're definitely a progression of what we've been doing on Angel Killer Zero. And then we've got some follow-up stuff from DCX2 even that we're working in. So, yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff happening there in terms of music. But in terms of touring, we'll head back out. Another tour is going to be announced soon for, I think it's like May or June or something like that.
Fairly soon, yeah.
Yeah. And then for the rest of the year, we'll be getting into like the studio more so. So we won't be touring so much the back end of the year, unless something comes in, which it always does. But yeah, that's how it's looking so far.
Absolutely, that's super exciting. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and having a chat. It's been lovely getting to talk about this, once again, amazing album. I'm super keen to hear the new tracks, so yeah. Yeah,
cool. No, thank you so much for your time, and it's always good when people have great questions, and it's always good to meet people, so thank you.
Sweet, I can't wait to see you guys play again soon, and I'm extremely excited for these new tracks, so...
Hell yeah. No, it's going to be good.
Thank you so much, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.